Live from the K&ED studios on Electric Avenue in McAlester, Oklahoma, it's time for Running with the Herd, a weekly McAlester Athletics coaches show brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant.
Yes, it is episode 29 of Running with the Herd on this Tuesday, April the 29th, as we are into our final Tuesday of the month of April. This is Brandon Green, your voice of the Buffaloes, bringing you Running with the Herd, presented by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. As we are getting close to the end of the McAlester baseball season, we have McAlester Baseball head coach with us, Justin Mullins. Coach, how are you?
Good morning. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm
great.
Doing all right. It's getting towards the end of it. We are getting ready for the end of the regular season. Just got a game or two left here. So from the coaching perspective, it's been a long time since we've last spoke. It's been a whole season nearly.
Yes, it has.
33 games. How do you think it's gone so far?
Ups and downs, I would say. We've had some good ones and we had some bad ones. We've had, but pleased with a lot of what we've done. Obviously not happy with where we're at, regional wise and where we finished, but at the end of the day, district-wise, we played ourselves into that position, and we just get the opportunity to go. I told our kids that all the goals are still in front of us. We can still go make the state tournament and go win, and that's the goal right now. So, but like I said, we had struggled early, had a great stretch through the middle, and then here lately, the last couple of weeks, we've kind of struggled a little bit again. So, and the competition's been pretty stiff too. So, I mean, that's the big part of it too. People don't realize that, even though we are playing Rattans and Wright Cities and Worcesters, and these are smaller schools, but I mean they're better than most of the big schools we played, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. So competition has been a little stiffer, but we battle. We've been in games. We just can't seem to get over the top sometimes. So.
When, like Wright City, they're the top team right now in Class A. They just jumped up to the number one spot, I think, above Dewar, and Worcester is in the 3 spot, who you guys just played yesterday, which 6-6 tie, which I know that, again, with the way that it was already panning out in yesterday's game, I think 11 different pitchers between you and Wright City, or not Wright City, Worcester.
Yeah.
You guys are getting in some work for the postseason.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, in which I talked to Ryan. We're good friends, me and Ryan, and they start actual regionals this week, so they were kind of using it as a tune-up to get everybody on the mound. And when we went to the 8th, I told him, I was like, hey, if it ends, I don't want you to dip into your pitching because they're supposed to start regionals tomorrow.
Right.
And so he was appreciative of that. And so, it's about getting work in, really. We need to play. We just got to get better. We got to see pitches. We got to pitch. We got to feel. I mean, that's the thing right now is because the games right now have no bearing on where we're going for playoffs or them. So really, it's almost like a glorified scrimmage. You count it as a game, but it's a scrimmage.
Right. And also, like I said, a lot of people are like, well, you played a bunch of games in April, but if you take too long of a break, that's a long time without seeing live pitching or facing live hitting, and then you're out of, I guess, baseball shape when it comes to the regional play.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're on the mound. You can't replicate competition, through a practice. The pressure of a ball hit to you with the bases loaded, or being on the mound with the bases loaded, or batting with the bases loaded. So you want to keep that competitive edge and in the box and seeing pitches. But also, I feel like, too, is what I was telling my coaches, we kind of need a reset right now. I think we need a little time off to get a kind of refresher reset, just to, push the reset button. And because we played a lot of games in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We probably played 15 games in 10 days, or, it seems like we played a ton over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think we need kind of a hard reset right now. So I think it's coming at a good time.
And you mentioned, it's kind of been an up and down season, but then you kind of notice that as also a young team, it's to be something you can expect from, because sometimes you're going to ride your highs, and then when it goes to your lows, you got to be able to get through the lows. And, you went through a 12 of 14 stretch, and you were able to win games really when it mattered in district play as well. In a district where we saw at one point Tahlequah was getting on the doorstep of taking down Claremore. So a 6 seed, about to take down a 2 seed, almost a 1, was just 1 game away from it. And then obviously Pryor nearly lost a couple games over to Tahlequah. So you saw pretty much out of the 7-team district, 1 through 6, anyone could have won at any given time if you had had that mark.
It's, by far the most competitive district, I think, in the state, because, we look at it and we start the district and we rank it, and Tahlequah was picked to win it, and they finished 6th. So
that's crazy.
That's the crazy part about it. And Pryor wins it, and I think they were picked to finish 3rd or 4th. And so, and I think Pryor, he had told me that Against Durant, he walked it off twice against them. Against Talquah, he walked it off. I mean,
They needed some big
numerous
wins to be able to do
games,
it, yeah.
and they had some big wins and to win it. I mean, kudos to them. They're a solid team. They don't do anything to wow you. Coach Osborne does a great job there. They play good defense. They're going to throw strikes, and they're tough outs. That's what I told our guys is like, I thought we made quality pitches against them, but man, they foul pitch after pitch after pitch
No
after
joke.
pitch to, because like Max Harmon the week before against Claremore, he throws almost 80 pitches, and through 4 or 5 innings, he's about 115 with them, and that's kudos to them. He was making good pitches. They just did a good job of battling and fouling off pitches and making getting hits with 2 strikes. I mean, out on their front foot, and same thing with the other guys. I mean, I just felt like, so kudos to them. But it is the toughest district. I felt like 1 through 6, it could have been just flipped the opposite. It could have been reversed. So it's by far the toughest district. There's no doubt about it.
Well, that's a testament to your team also, because I'm sure a lot of people, when they saw the overturn in graduation from a year ago, expected maybe McAlester to take a little bit of a dip this year. But instead,
Absolutely.
you guys use some senior talent or some people that had to make big jumps from their underclassmen years to their upperclassmen years, and then freshmen or sophomore that had to take big jumps because they had to fill those shoes. We were speaking about that in the episode right before the season started.
Yeah.
That's a testament to you guys to not take a dip. I mean, you're in the same position that you were last year despite losing 6 everyday starters.
Yeah.
That's a testament to your team still, though.
Well, and it's a
jumping
testament
maturity.
for sure. It's definitely a testament to them. And early on, that's the biggest part I hate about districts is week 1 we're playing a district opponent that matters, and it's a rivalry. It's against Durant, and they're a quality club this year. They got everybody returning, and we knew it was going to be tough, but we're a different team now than what we were in that first week of the season. And I think we play them later on, the roles may be reversed, and that's kind of what hurt us early on to being anywhere from the 2 to 3 seed in the district. And could not take anything away from them, but I feel pretty confident now that we're just as good, if not better than them right now after having some games under our belt. And there's been a lot of talk. We've been a big push about maybe having 14 districts and not having the 8 where you're having to play a meaningful district game March 3rd, which the season March 1st starts. So that way we work it out where you don't have to play a district game till after spring break, kind of get your feet under you.
Right.
And I truly believe that's kind of hurt us this year. That kind of affected us because, even if we get a split with Durant there, we're probably a 3 seed and possibly having a chance to be a 2 seed if we, win a game, here or there. Yeah. So, so it's definitely, and it's a testament to the kids. They battled, they fought all year. Can't take anything away from them. We had a great stretch there through the middle, and then we've struggled here lately. But, I mean, they've been battling. We haven't been out of games. I mean, we've been in the ball game and having chances to win. And we've ran into some tough luck. Like, I mean, I know several times we've had, where we've just literally squared up balls right at people. I mean, just can't get it
Makes
to
you
go.
drop your head, yeah.
And then you come out the next inning and they hit a ball off the end of the bat that squirts through in the perfect spot. And we just scorch a ball right at them. I mean, it's baseball. I mean, it's just we kind of ran into some tough luck right here lately. So that's a big part of it. So, but we've been in the ball game. We've been in the fight of all those games against quality teams, and it shows that we're right there on the cusp, and we can do a lot of good things still left.
Now, you mentioned already some players when you were talking about Harmon and then McKinney. Baseball's a team sport. It takes all 9 guys to be able to make it happen. But who have been some vital players for you guys this season to be able to be as successful as you have been going into this new year after the turnover?
Jackson McKinney's he's had a great, phenomenal year. I mean, being a freshman, stepping into being the catcher, the most important position on the field, and then what he's done swinging the bats. You don't expect that. I didn't step into the season expecting him. I think he's hitting over 400. I mean, as a freshman, I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, kudos to him. He's a competitor. He's a gamer. He's really stepped it up. Can't say enough about him being a young guy. And another one's Cole Labus. Cole Labus has really, really come on hitting the ball. I think he's another guy that's hitting over 400 for us all year. And I knew coming into it, he has the ability and the capabilities of that, and he has kind of just ran with it. And we've had Max Harmons did a great job on the mound. Also, Brody Parker and Grant Mullins have both, just come in and did an exceptional job for us, being freshmen, those two. Very competitive. They're going to give us a chance to win. They're around the zone. They can throw multiple pitches for a strike, and been put in tough situations. And I'm telling you, kudos to those two, because they step in and, you don't see any fear on them. You don't see anything. They step in and they're just right at it. And they give us a chance, and that's all we can ask. Nimmer Durant's been another one that's been huge. He struggled here lately, but he's been huge for us. We were able to start getting him on the mound a little bit more. He had a little elbow issues, and we're trying to take care of him. But he's been great on the mound and at the plate. Spencer Stitchcomb, he struggled a little bit lately, but our 1 through 5 has done really well for us throughout the season, as like I was telling you earlier. And then over the last 2 weeks, every now and then you'll get a kid slumping here and there. It's just baseball. You're not going to be able to, but very rarely our 2 through 5 right now has been struggling the last 2 weeks. And that's 4 guys that,
in your most vital part of
our lineup. And, and it's baseball. You're going to have ups and downs. To think that you're going to go out there and just, 2 or 3 hits a game all the time is not going to happen. And, but that's kind of hurt. Those 2 guys having that peaks and valleys, having a valley at the same time is kind of hurt a little bit. But, kudos to those guys. They're still battling. And they're a hit away from just breaking out of it and being right there where we need them to be, and to get them where we need them to be at the right time. And that's why I said, maybe it's good for us not to play a couple games here in the next 3 or 4 days, to have just a hard reset, just to get back to the basics. Because when the season starts, you don't have a lot of time to get and practice and get after the fundamentals that you did early on.
I can hit the ground running.
Yeah, and so, but as far as those guys, we've had guys that stepped up and did some great jobs. We also had some other freshmen that have stepped up and did some good things for us. Blade Smith has stepped up in there. He's been a guy that I think just through the JV ball, he's hitting about 800. He is like, so we're like, hey, we need, I'm serious. Like, he has been tearing it up, and we're like, we need to give him a look. Like, he's kind of like the farm system. We got, you're tearing it up, give you the late call, kind of type thing. And then another one's Langston Weegar. He's been another one that we gave him a start last week. He's been lights out on the mound in JV. Like, he's been really good. And so, just trying to get a feel of what we have and getting guys out there. And, but, pleased with where we're at so far and what we're trying to do. So.
Yeah, and then you have senior night coming up on Friday. That's against Muskogee. This will be your. I'm sure you've known all these guys because you've been with McAlester for a long time, and also with again known the junior high and them coming up there as well. But this is your first senior class of being the head coach of the McAlester Baseball program, to be able to see them all the way through. So what does this senior class mean to you?
It means a lot. They were there from when we started. You know what I mean? So it means a lot to me with those guys. They're just a bunch of hard-nosed guys that have done everything we've asked of them. And can't say enough about them. And they're all high character guys. That's the biggest part about it that I see with those guys. And they're all going to be successful guys. They're all going to be successful fathers and employees and things like that. And that brings as much joy to me as them going 4 for 4 or throwing a no-hitter or anything like that. But they're high character guys, and they have worked their tails off. And I want nothing but great things for them. I want them to be in the state tournament, because their first year as freshmen, they were in the state tournament. And I would love nothing more than to end their career being in the state tournament. That's kind of the goal, what we're trying to do right now. So.
And we spoke about regionals coming up, so we're going to have a quick outlook on the playoffs next week. It looks like the Bishop Kelly Regional more than likely will be Edison. I'll take something from Midwest City.
Yes.
Like a big blunder. I think Edison had to beat them by like 7 runs or something.
Yeah, it has to be, 7 or 8 runs. But it looks like we're going to be in a 3-team regional again.
Yeah.
Just like we were 2 years ago at Bishop Kelly.
Bishop Kelly.
But it looks like it'll be us, Edison, and Bishop Kelly. So Bishop Kelly's a good team. They're coming back down from 6A where they struggled back into 5A, which I think they're 27 and 8.
Really good.
Yeah, they're good.
Really good.
They've got a really good arm on the mound, a move-in guy, Coach Frazier's nephew, I think it is, which he's going to Eastern, and he's been a really huge impact for them. So, but they're a quality club. Coach Frazier does a great job with them. He's from there, so he does great things. But we go compete. We've shown that we can play with anybody. I mean, doesn't matter who it is, we can play with them if we go compete and play what we can do. So.
And then I really don't have anything else. Anything else that you'd like to add before we move on?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we got into our regular season this week, and then we start off the postseason next week with a regional at Bishop Kelly, with more than likely Tulsa Edison joining the mix as well. We're going to be talking about some the More You Know segment, just some fun questions for Coach Mullins coming up in just a moment. Again, this is Running with the Herd with head coach Justin Mullins of McAlester Baseball, brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. We'll be back in 60 here on KNED.
Reagan Auto is a Reader's Choice Award-winning automotive repair shop. We are currently searching for an automotive technician to join our team. We're looking for someone who is energized and ready to provide quality service to our customers. Our ideal candidate will have technician experience of at least 1 year. If you're interested in this opportunity to work in a fast-paced atmosphere, email your resume to reaganauto.ok@gmail.com. What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
8:47 on the dot in the morning on your Tuesday, April the 29th. It is the 29th edition of Running with the Herd, brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. Brandon Green alongside head coach of McAlester Baseball, Justin Mullins. And before we get on to the More You Know segment, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this question, because it's pretty prominent. We just came out last week. New McAlester softball head coach, Trent Homer, one of your assistant coaches.
Yep.
What kind of coach is McAlester softball going to be getting with him that people don't know? Because I'm sure a lot of people know Trent, but
he is a wealth. We're blessed to have him here. Like been trying ever since I've got the job. I've been trying to get him to come back, and you're going to get a guy that's going to work tirelessly. I'm going to tell you, he's going to be a guy that's going to, do everything he can possibly to get the girls where they need to be, and it's a phenomenal hire for McAlester softball. Like I can't think of a better guy to take over the job for them. And he's still going to coach baseball, as long as everybody knows. Everybody's asking. He's a diehard baseball guy. So he'll still do baseball. It's just in the fall he'll do the softball. And excited for them. Excited for the softball program. Everybody should be excited because he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge. Just the hard work, the work ethic that he's going to bring. And just a high character guy. To bring into a program. And I'm going to tell you, people better watch out for the Buffaloes, because, we've hit some home runs with some hires that we've made lately with our programs, and you better watch out. I'm just telling you. Everybody better get on board, because it's fixing to get really exciting, I'm telling you, with all our programs.
Exciting time for McAlester Athletics.
Yes.
Now, I think you also just called the heart rate, because this is obviously a McAlester baseball show.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of baseball fans had their minds at ease after you said he's still going to be coaching.
Yes, well, I've had that question has been asked a lot. So, but he's hit the ground running. There's not a better guy that can do the job. And I've coached him. I've known him since he's been little, because I coached with his dad. His dad got me my first job here. So I've known him since he's been a little bitty kid. So a lot of respect for that family and what they've done here in this community, and excited for what's fixing to happen for them in the softball program for sure.
And I remember his first year with McAlester as an assistant coach was my senior year, so I've been able to see from a player's perspective of how good of a coach he can be and how good of a coach he is, and we're excited for him. And I can't wait to have him on here sometime soon to be able to introduce him.
I'm sure he'll be a wealth of knowledge. He'll be good. You'll enjoy, people will enjoy that for sure.
Good deal. All right, Coach. So we're going to get to know about you a little bit more, like we did last time. So, just what are some of your hobbies outside of baseball?
Boy, that's a tough one. My wife is a huge flowers, so I usually help her with she loves flowers. She likes to take care of flowers, and so usually I help her with that. Other than that, just my kids, I guess. That's my hobby. Whatever they're doing, we're there. My oldest is still playing, so we try to, every chance we get, which is hard, with me coaching, we try to get to his games. My middle one, which he had a little setback. He's actually taken a red shirt this year. He kind of hurt his elbow. He had a great fall. Was going to be like maybe their number 3 guy on the mound at Rose, and came back from Christmas break and had a little elbow issues. Never had an arm issue in his life, and developed a little, tricep tendonitis, and tried to push to get back and re-aggravated it. So, and then he was trying to push. They were trying to get him back for the playoffs for the region tournament, and I told him, I was just like, you step on the mound one time, you're done. So, just whatever my kids are doing. Real high family guy, whatever, just being around my family. That's kind of my hobbies, and watching baseball. That's kind of the thing. So
absolutely, sir. If now baseball's been a part of your life all your life, and you've been coaching now for it's been part of your life for a long time now as well. So try to think back to a time if you weren't going to be a coach, what other career path do you think you might have taken?
Wow, man, that's a good question, because I knew at a young age that I wanted to be a coach. My uncle was a coach, was around him a lot. Gosh dang, I don't even know. I can't even think of what I would be if I wasn't a coach, because I didn't have any thought of anything else. Like nothing that I could think of that I wanted to be, other than a coach, which my dad has worked ever since he's been probably 12 years old. He's worked highline poles, an electrician, and he didn't want me to do that. So my mom, she's been a secretary kind of, her whole life, and they did everything they could to get me in college, which it was fortunate enough that I got a scholarship and they didn't have to pay much. We were, very middle road. My parents couldn't afford to get me a scholarship to go, to pay for school anywhere. But they did everything they could. Kudos to them. Everything, to get me to where I am today. Like I said, I can't think of anything else I would rather be other than a coach. I can't even.
That's a good answer, though.
Yeah, nothing in my mind. I can't picture myself doing anything else other than being a coach. Like I said, even thinking about it here, nothing I would rather be doing than this. Love the sport, love being around kids, and I want to give back what the sport gave to me. And so that's what I always try to tell these kids. Always try to give back. Do something to give back to the sport that you love, and that's what I've always wanted to do. So.
Sir, and baseball, especially during spring break, gets to take you to a lot of different places that maybe some of those sports don't get to. But you've been able to go to Florida, I think Alabama. If you want to count, I think Gulf Shores is Alabama. Yeah, Alabama. So Alabama and then Arizona. But if you were to pick a dream vacation destination, what is that for Coach Mullins?
I'm going to tell you what. Me and my wife have talked about this. I would like to get like a travel trailer, not a travel trailer, but a motorhome, I guess you would say,
kind of like
just
an RV,
a small RV type thing, and just travel and park it and go to this ballpark and watch games. That's cool. That's kind of my dream vacation, just to do that once I retire. Is just we travel and we go to, wherever. I'm a diehard Cubs fan. I've been to Wrigley Field, but go there and watch the Cubs. Then go to St. Louis and watch the Cardinals. Then travel to Atlanta and watch. Just
that'd
something.
Be cool.
That would probably be my dream vacation. But I know that seems weird.
No,
I'm not a beachy guy.
Right.
I'm not a guy that, I don't mind the beach, but you know, my favorite was going to Arizona because a beach is not for me, but going to Arizona watching spring training games, that's kind of my thing, and those kind of things. But that would probably be my dream vacation. Just get a RV and just go and travel and go to ballparks, go to, you know, stuff like that. So
that'd be cool. These are all the same questions I asked Coach Bowie, by the way.
Okay,
so
even better. There's nothing wrong with that.
Because we didn't ask any of these to you last time. So
Yeah.
if you were an animal, which one would you be?
If I was an animal, which one I'd be? I guess a dog. I love dogs, so I would say a dog.
DAWG?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, 100%. So.
And our last one, is there a single play that has been your favorite in your coaching career so far?
Oh my gosh, single play that in my coaching career.
Most extraordinary you might have seen this year, but
which one would that be this year?
Was it the Gunnar Hodgel diving?
Oh, gosh, unbelievable. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's probably at any level, that is probably, and I've saw a lot of baseball and I've watched a lot of baseball on TV, that may be the greatest catch I've ever seen. And we didn't get it on video. Nobody did.
So deep in the corner. That's even more of a testament to how far he had to travel to make that catch.
Like I said, people that weren't there and don't see it, I mean, I can't think of a better catch that I've seen on TV, in person, anytime.
Well, now that there's no video of it, it's now forever and more.
Yeah, which we have like a huddle camera, and we do it during the games. It's right behind home plate, but sometimes when a ball hits off the net, it shakes it, so it gets blurry. You have to reset it. Well, during that game, that's what happened, and so I look back on it, and it's just blurry. You can't see anything. But probably the last out of regionals, you know, that I can think of the top of my head that we win, and the kids dogpile and get to go to state. That's probably one of the most memorable times.
Strikeout by Seth Sam. I won't forget that.
Yeah, and that's probably the most memorable. Had lots of memorable playing. I know that memorable times that I remember when I was a senior, we get beat here, first game of the year in regionals. We play regionals here. Coach Bond and Coach Ammons are going at it. They beat us 1-0. We come back. It's double elimination. We come back and we double dip 8 on the last day at our place, which that's pretty memorable times. Had a lot of success in college. Lots of memories there, but probably the coaching. Lots of memories, even through coaching football. I've had a lot of memories when I was coaching there. Lots of memories when we beat Carl Albert here like 50-something to 7 at our place. That's a big memory.
Cold rain, I remember that.
Getting to coach in the state championship game, that's pretty big. Wish we'd have won, but lots of memories. It's hard to just pinpoint one.
Right.
But if I was going to say, just being a head coach, probably that last out of regional championship at Grove.
Yes, sir. And that's all I have for you. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
Appreciate you guys again. You guys are phenomenal. Like I said, first class. I mean, teams don't realize, and some of our people don't understand how lucky we are to have you guys and what y'all do for us. To bring it to you guys, to bring what we're doing at all sports to family members that can't make it every day. I know my parents are very appreciative. And those kind of things. But thank you guys.
Absolutely, sir. Proud to do it. Thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate you. Thank you, buddy.
We'll be there, and we'll get ready for also next week for the regional tournament. All right, that was head coach Justin Mullins here for Running with the Herd, episode 29, brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. We'll take one more 60-second break and send you back to your regularly scheduled programming here on KNED.
Reagan Auto is a Reader's Choice Award-winning automotive repair shop. We are currently searching for an automotive technician to join our team. We're looking for someone who is energized and ready to provide quality service to our customers. Our ideal candidate will have technician experience of at least 1 year. If you're interested in this opportunity to work in a fast-paced atmosphere, email your resume to reaganauto.ok@gmail.com. What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.